everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the previous video lecture series, we have studied the concept of electric field intensity and electric flux density. Then after that, we have also seen the different types of electric field intensity equation for the line charge. Then we have calculated the electric field intensity due to point charge, then surface charge, and last the volume charge. Okay. So in today's video lecture, we will discuss about the magnetic field. In that, we will study what is meant by magnetic field intensity, then magnetic flux density, then comparison between electric field and magnetic field. Okay. So let us start with the first point, that is magnetic field. As we know that whenever electric charges are in motion, then the magnetic field is created. Okay. So here, if a current is passing through the wire, then there is said to be a magnetic field about the wire. Okay. So here, in case of permanent magnet, this is the magnet which is having two poles. The first is north pole and second is south pole. Okay. So here, the permanent magnet which is having north and south poles. So the region around this magnet in which the effect of magnetism is experienced is called as magnetic field. This is nothing but the region around that magnet where the magnetic field is experienced. Okay. Then the second point is magnetic flux lines. So basically this magnetic field is represented by the imaginary lines around this magnet. This is the magnet which is having two poles. The first is north pole and second is south pole, and these are imaginary lines. These are imaginary lines of force, which is nothing but the flux lines, or we can say the magnetic lines of force. Okay. So here these magnetic lines of force will move from this north pole to south pole externally, and internally they will move from south to north pole. Remember this point, this is very important. So here we can say that the permanent magnet which is having two poles, the first is north pole and second is south pole, and the magnetic flux lines, or we can say magnetic lines of force, are moved from north to south pole externally and south to north pole internally. Okay. Then after that, the magnetic field intensity is defined as, which is the force experienced by this unit north pole of 1 Weber strength when placed at the point of measurement. Suppose this is point P and we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity at this point. Okay. So here what happened? Here the magnetic field intensity is denoted by H bar, and the unit of H bar is ampere per meter. Okay. In similar way, we can also define the magnetic flux density. So here, in case of magnetic flux density, the total magnetic lines of force which are crossing a unit area in a plane which is at right angles to the direction of flux is called as magnetic flux density. In simple way, we can write here B bar is equal to, here B bar is nothing but magnetic flux density, which is equal to phi by A. This phi is nothing but the flux lines which are passing through this area. That's why the unit of this B bar is nothing but, we know that the unit of phi or flux is nothing but Weber, and the unit of area is meter square. Okay. So here the magnetic field intensity is denoted by H bar, and the unit of H bar is ampere per meter, and the magnetic flux density is denoted by B bar. The unit of B bar is Weber per meter square, or we can say Tesla. Okay. So in electric field, we have seen the concept of electric field intensity and electric flux density. So in terms of electric field intensity, we have seen it is denoted by E bar, and electric flux density is denoted by D bar. Okay. So here we know the relation between D bar and E bar is d bar is equal to epsilon 0 E bar. Okay. In similar way, we can also represent the relation between B bar and H bar also. Means what? See here, we know that the electric field intensity and electric flux density are related as D bar is equal to epsilon 0 E bar. This is for the electric field, and if you want to calculate the relation between magnetic field intensity and magnetic flux density, then we can write here B bar is equal to mu into H bar. See here, in case of electric field, epsilon 0 is there, and in terms of magnetic field, mu is there. Mu is nothing but the permeability of medium, and this epsilon is nothing but the permittivity of medium. Okay, here the unit of B bar is Weber per meter square or Tesla, and the unit of H bar is ampere per meter. Again, the unit of electric field intensity is volt per meter or Newton per coulomb is there. Okay. Then after that, let us see the comparison between electric field and magnetic field. So here we can see first the basic law. As we know that the Coulomb's law, in that we have seen again the force is proportional to the product of two charges, and it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So here we can write in terms of electric field, F bar is equal to Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 r square into AR bar. Means what? This is the statement of electric field, that is the Coulomb's law in terms of vector. Okay. Why we are considered as a vector form? Because here AR bar is there. Okay. In similar way, in magnetic field, there is also one basic law, that is nothing but Biot-Savart law. And the statement of Biot-Savart law is that at any point P, the differential magnetic field intensity produced by the differential element, this is dB bar, that is nothing but differential magnetic field intensity, which is produced by the differential element, that is IDL, which is proportional to the product of current, this is IDL, that is current, and the magnitude of differential length, which is nothing but DL bar, and the sign of angle between the filament and the line connecting differential length to the point P. In simple way, we can write the dB is directly proportional to the IDL sin theta, where I and DL is the product of current and differential length. Okay, and it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance from the differential element to the point P. Okay, so this is the statement of Biot-Savart law in case of magnetic field, and for electric field, Coulomb's law is there. Then if we consider second point, that is force, then in terms of electric field, the force is represented as F bar is equal to Q into E bar, and for magnetic field, it is denoted by F bar is equal to Q in bracket cross product of V bar into B bar. Okay. Then third point is field intensity. The electric field intensity is denoted by V by L, that is potential per length. The unit of electric field intensity is volt per meter or the Newton per coulomb, and for the magnetic field, it is represented as H bar is equal to I by L, that is ampere per meter. We know that I is nothing but current, and the unit of current is ampere, and for length it is meter. Okay, so this is the field intensity. For electric field, it is represented as E bar, and for magnetic field, it is represented as H bar. The unit of E bar is volt per meter, and the unit of H bar is ampere per meter. Then fourth point is flux density. If you want to represent the flux density for the electric field, then it is given by D bar is equal to psi by S, where the unit of psi is nothing but coulomb and S is the surface area, that is meter square. So it is given by Coulomb per meter square. And if you consider the magnetic flux density, then it is given by B bar is equal to phi by S, that is Weber, or we can say flux lines per unit area, that is Weber per meter square. Okay, so this is the electric flux density and this is magnetic flux density. Then fifth point is a relation between field. So here D bar is nothing but electric field density. This is electric field density, and the E bar is nothing but electric field intensity. So the relation between these two is D bar is equal to epsilon into E bar, where this epsilon is nothing but what? This is the permittivity of medium, and we know that epsilon is nothing but epsilon 0 into epsilon r. Okay, here the value of epsilon 0 is constant, having value 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12. Okay, this is the constant value for the epsilon 0. Then again for the magnetic field, here we can write B bar is equal to mu h bar. So this is the relation between magnetic flux density and magnetic field intensity. B is magnetic flux density and H is the magnetic field intensity. Okay, so here again mu is nothing but the permeability of the medium, and here mu is defined as it is the ability with which a current carrying conductor forces the magnetic flux in the region around it. Okay, so here again this mu is nothing but mu 0 into mu r. So for that, here the value of mu 0 is nothing but permeability of free space, having value 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. Okay, and mu r is nothing but relative permeability. The value of air of mu r, that is relative permeability for air, is equal to 1. This is the constant value for the air. Okay, then after that, potential. We have already seen the concept of divergence. In that we have seen that potential gradient and divergence relationship. So here we can write the potential E bar is equal to minus of del V, and for magnetic field it is given by H bar is equal to del into Vm. Okay, then next point is flux. So here the flux is denoted by psi for the electric field, and in terms of magnetic field it is denoted as a phi. So psi is equal to integration over closed surface d bar into ds bar, and for magnetic field it is given by psi is equal to integration over closed surface inside integration b bar dot ds bar. Then next point is energy density. So here the energy density of the electric field can be calculated using this formula. W is equal to 1 by 2 d bar into E bar, and for magnetic field it is 1 by 2 b bar into. The next point is the Biot-Savart law. So this Biot-Savart law is also called as Ampere's law of current element, because it gives the differential magnetic field intensity due to the differential current element. Why it is considered as a differential magnetic field? Because here we have to calculate dH bar, that is differential magnetic field, which is produced due to this differential length element, that is nothing but dl. Hence the name is differential magnetic field due to the differential current element is there. Okay, so for that let us consider the current I is flowing in differential length of the filament dl. This is the dl bar, differential length filament, this is filament, and the current, this I is flowing through this filament, which can be shown in this figure. So let us consider again point P be the point of intersect at which we have to find out the magnetic field intensity. Okay, so for that, here the differential length of filament is dl bar, this is dl bar, and the current I, this is I, which is passing through this filament. So the differential current element is nothing but what? I into dl. Why? Because this I is flowing through this filament that is having dl, so that's why it is considered as I into dl. Okay, then as shown in this figure, again here the theta is the angle between the filament, this is your filament, and the line connecting differential length to this point P. This is point P. Here actually we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity at this point, P point. So here we have to connect this P point to the differential length. So here we can write IDL, that is nothing but current flowing through this differential length element. Okay, and the theta is the angle between this filament and the point P. Okay, so here if we see the statement of Biot-Savart law, then we can say that the Biot-Savart law states that at any point P, suppose this is point P, at this point the differential magnetic field intensity, we know that the magnetic field intensity is denoted by H bar and differential magnetic field intensity is denoted by DH bar. Okay, so this DH bar will be produced by the differential element, that is DL. It proportional to the product of current and the magnitude of differential length and the sign of angle between the filament and the line connecting differential length to the point P. In simple way we can write, जो भी आपका DH बार यहाँ पे produced होगा, that is differential magnetic field intensity is directly proportional to this IDL, that is product of I into DL bar, and it is also proportional to the sin theta, that is the angle between filament and point P. Okay, again the second statement is that this differential magnetic field intensity is inversely proportional to the square of the distance from the differential element to the point P. Okay, so here as we know that R is the distance between DL and point P, so here we can directly write down DH bar is inversely proportional to the R square. Okay, so here now we want to prove that equation. So for that we can write the first mathematical equation, that is DH bar is proportional to the product of current and the magnitude of differential length DL. So here we can write DH bar is equal to IDL, or we can write DH bar is directly proportional to the IDL. Then second thing is what? The DH bar is proportional to the sine of the angle between the filament and the line connecting differential length to point P. That is DH bar is directly proportional to sin theta. This is our second statement. And third statement is what? The DH bar, that is magnetic field intensity, is proportional to the, it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So we can write 1 upon R square. Okay, so these are three statements. Then after that we can collectively write DH bar is directly proportional to IDL. This is our first statement. And second is sin theta. So we can write DH bar is directly proportional to IDL sin theta, and it is inversely proportional to the R square. So this is the R square value. Okay, so here let K be the constant of proportionality. Okay, so DH bar is nothing but K into IDL sin theta upon R square is there. But we know that the value of K, that is proportionality constant, is nothing but 1 upon 4 pi value. So we have to put this constant value in this equation. So we can write K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi. So we can write here the value of K is 1 upon 4 pi. So this equation becomes DH bar is equal to IDL sin theta upon 4 pi R square. Okay, so here this is the basic equation of magnetic field intensity. Now we have to convert it into the vector form. Then how to convert it? By using the cross product formula. So let us see. AR bar is the unit vector in the direction from differential current element to the point P. Okay. Then after that we can write here the definition of cross product. We know that the dot product of A dot B is AB cos theta, but here we have to calculate the cross product. So cross product of A and B is AB sin theta. So we can write A bar cross B bar is equal to AB sin theta. Now instead of this A bar and B bar, we want to take here cross product of DL bar and AR bar. So here what happened? It will give DL into AR into sin theta. Instead of this AB, we can put DL into AR. Okay. But here AR bar is the unit vector, and we know that the value of unit vector is always 1. So we can write DL bar into AR bar is equal to DL sin theta. Hence the equation becomes DH bar is equal to, that is differential magnetic field intensity is equal to IDL, that is differential current element, into AR cap, that is unit vector from the differential current element to the point P, and R is the distance of differential current element from point P. Okay, so where this cross sign is nothing but the cross product. Okay, so here finally we have got the equation for DH bar. Okay, but here actually we have to calculate the total magnetic field, which can be calculated using the integration form. So we can write H bar is equal to integration, inside integration DH bar. We know the value of DH bar, so we can write H bar is equal to integration, inside integration, the value of DH bar is IDL bar cross AR bar upon 4 pi R square. Okay, so this H bar is nothing but the magnetic field intensity at point P. Okay, then after that we can calculate here the magnetic field intensity at a point 2 also. That means what? DH2 bar is equal to I1 DL1 bar into AR12 bar upon 4 pi R square. Okay, so here again this is the DH2 bar, means the small magnetic field we can say. So if we calculate again the total value, then we have to integrate that value, then we will get H2 bar is equal to integration of I1 DL bar cross AR bar upon 4 pi R12 square. Okay, here we know that the unit vector is nothing but AR12 bar is equal to R12 bar upon mod of R12 bar, which can be write as a R12 bar upon R12. This mod value is nothing but R12 bar. Okay, so we have to put the equation, this value in this equation. Finally we'll get H2 bar is equal to integration, inside integration I1 DL bar into R12 bar upon 4 pi R12 क्यूब. ओके, तो ये जो हमारे यहाँ पे इक्वेशन था, इसको हमने इन टर्म्स ऑफ वेक्टर रिप्रेजेंट किया था. ये आपका यूनिट वेक्टर का जनरल फॉर्मूला है, जिसमें आप लिख सकते हो R12 बार अपॉन R12. सो दैट्स वाई ये आपका जो फाइनल इक्वेशन है उसमें चला जाएगा वेक्टर फॉर्म. दैट इज we will get here simple form of that equation. H2 bar is equal to integration, inside integration IDL bar cross R12 bar upon 4 pi R12 cube. Okay, this is the equation of Biot-Savart law, where the H bar, that is magnetic field intensity, is produced due to the product of this current and differential length element, and this magnetic field intensity is proportional to the square of the distance between them. Okay, so here the unit of this H bar is ampere per meter. This equation is also called as integral form of Biot-Savart law. So guys, this is all about our today's session. I hope you will like and enjoy. Today we will stop here with motivational quote, and today's motivational quote for you is: the key to success is to focus on goals, not obstacles. Thank you for watching my videos.